So we asked 10 people to test 8 popular pairs of headphones blindfolded. Why blindfolded, you might ask? And judging by the thumbnail, why did we choose to dress them in those hideous hats? Well, for one, we wanted people to be absolutely impartial in their judgment. Also, some pairs of headphones like the AirPods Max could be easily recognized by the unique mesh texture of the ear cups. So we purchased some very thin hats that wouldn't allow them to feel any texture whatsoever, just the heft and the squeezing pressure for the most part. Hey, Iskren here, but feel free to call me E. Let me say this right out of the box. This is not a scientific test, so don't judge me. It's not even close to a scientific test. For once, audiophiles know how precise fit and ear seal matter, and with the hats, despite our best efforts and careful positioning, we might have compromised some of that. But even at 80 or 90% accuracy, this experiment was important enough for us to really understand how subjective sound quality is. Some of the pairs were kindly provided to us by some of the participants, the listeners themselves, who were absolutely confident that they would be able to recognize their own pairs. But as we ran the test, absolutely no one could predict which pair is which, and the results were hilarious. For example, people that hated Beats headphones chose Beats as their overall winner, and people who said how they enjoyed the noise cancelling of a pair were actually enjoying headphones with no noise cancelling features at all. So here are the contestants. The Beats Studio 3, an older model already, but very decent when it comes to comfort, sound quality, and connectivity when we talk about people in the Apple ecosystem. The all-favorite Sony XM4s, the noise-cancelling King, and the headphones to compare with the newly released Apple AirPods Max. Of course, the AirPods Max, the controversial $550 flex of Apple's combination of sound quality, minimalism, high-quality materials, and connectivity. By the way, the AirPods Max ran the test without spatial audio activated, since it would have easily prompted the listeners and to throw them off. Even more, we turned off the noise cancelling as well. Next up is the gold standard of price versus performance and accuracy, the Audio-Technica M50X with Bluetooth. Afterwards is the THX Drop Panda, the underdog and the king of passive noise cancellation, praised by many experts in the field. The next big name on the list is Bang & Olufsen and their expensive latest active noise cancelling pair, Beoplay H9. To stir the confusion even more, we threw in my favorite on-ear headphones by Status called BT1. First is the fact that they are on-ear, and second, they don't have any noise cancellation as you can expect. But they do sound fantastic. Finally, we have a very interesting and extremely comfortable pair of very affordable headphones called Avantry Audition, coming in at only $50. So this is how we ran the experiment. We drew inspiration from MKBHD's blind smartphone camera test and faced all contestants in pairs, where each pair would qualify and participate in 3 rounds, the last being the final battle. That structure was followed throughout the blindfolded listeners, so you can imagine how much time it took us to do this crazy experiment. First round was a specifically selected song, one that would expand and showcase the potential of each pair of headphones.
Hey baby, do you believe me when I say I miss you so?
The second was a high-quality interview between Oprah and Obama. And the final round would be the first few minutes of the movie Avatar, of course played in the highest quality possible. We would give the listener one option for each round to come back to the first pair should there be some doubts, which by the way seldom happened. Also, the headphones were set up at the same volume. By giving 1 point for each round, respectively 2 points for round 2 and 3 points for round 3, we managed to calculate and have a winner. But before we get to that, try and guess in the comment section below which headphones took the first 3 places. And by the way, if you end up enjoying this video, subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind. So here are the results and conclusions. The Beats Studio 3 headphones were against the Sony XM4 in round 1. Since both pairs are very similar in weight, shape and comfort. Both were noise cancelling enabled, and in round 1, both snatched equally 5 points each. The next 2 pairs were the Audio-Technica and AirPods Max, since I consider them extremely sound accurate. And since the ATH doesn't come with active noise cancelling, we had the AirPods Max running as standard too.
They don't really like the sound of these.
You don't? Or you do?
I don't.
Okay. Both split the wins 5-5 before round 2. The next 2 pairs were the Drop Panda with Status BT1, one very heavy and expensive pair of passive noise cancelling headphones against one on-ear extremely light pair, 5 times less expensive. Interestingly, in round 1, Status took 4 points and the Panda 6, which was very surprising, expecting the Panda to annihilate the Status. The final pair were the B&O against the Avantry, $450 versus $50, noise cancelling versus no noise cancelling, uncomfortable versus very comfortable. Surprisingly, the Avantry managed to snatch 3 wins, and most listeners, by the way, did find the Bang & Olufsen uncomfortable compared to the Avantry. Throughout all rounds, the Bang & Olufsen were often described as too bass heavy and not so clear in sound, but very fun at the same time to listen to. So 7 for Bang & Olufsen and 3 for Avantry. In round 2, the interview, most points were taken by that same Bang & Olufsen pair, 5 in total, followed by 4 wins of the Drop Panda and Beats. Audio-Technica and AirPods Max took 3 wins. Status and Avantry managed to grab 1 win at some point, and it was clear where the results were heading. In the final round, the Avatar movie, things were a bit evened out, where the Beats, AirPods Max and Panda, and B&O by the way, all grabbed 2 wins, and the Sony XM4 and Audio-Technica managed to win 1 time only. So after the calculations, Beats and AirPods Max ended up sharing 3rd place with 17 points each. 2nd place went to the Drop Panda with 20 points, and the overall winner was the Bang & Olufsen, leading with 23 points. So what are the conclusions? Well, for a start, sound quality is very subjective. My personal outcomes were that I did not expect the Bang & Olufsen to be the overall victor, considering them very uncomfortable to wear and very bass heavy, rather inaccurate if you ask me. Also, I was absolutely confident that the Sony XM4 will either be the winner or at least come in 2nd place. But that wasn't even the case, because they came 5th after the Audio-Technica. And finally, judging by the results and by most people's feedback, the AirPods Max ended up being glorified Beats Studio 3s. What do you think? What are your thoughts? It's been an absolute pleasure. This is E, over and out.